बस ना असंच ना. काय झालं परत.
आपण नुसती श्रवण भक्ती करायला आलेलो नाही. कळलं काय हो की नाही. सॉफ्टवेअर इंजिनिअरिंगच्या लेक्चरला बसलेलो नाहीये असं सगळ्यांनी लक्षात ठेवा. काय
मला मॅथ येतं ना.
Please be seated.
Very and beautiful morning to all the students, our honorable and beloved principal sir, respected HOD ma'am, and all the staff members. I, Akanksha Narhe,
And I am Tanvi Burale. Welcome you all for the alumni panel discussion on the topic Impact of IT Recession on Career Opportunities. Before we move on with the discussion, we will have our traditional auspicious lamp lighting ceremony as a tribute to Mother Saraswati, Goddess of Knowledge. I request Principal Sir and HOD Ma'am, along with our panel members, to kindly enlighten the lamp.
आपण सगळेजण ठीक आहे पाणी. जी लागली तीच
Thank you everyone. To start with today's event, I will request our respected HOD ma'am to brief our students.
Okay. Dear esteemed alumni, respected principal sir, faculty members, and dear students. It's my honor to welcome you all on the panel discussion. The topic is impact of IT recessions on career opportunities. So, as the head of the department, I am delighted to see our alumni gathered here to guide you on this topic, which was already I mentioned. So, as we all know, that the IT industry has been one of the most dynamic and fast-paced, you can say, sectors in recent years. So the rapid advancement in technology has brought ample of opportunities to young professionals, to you people, as well as you can say other non-IT students to showcase their talents and skills and to build career in the IT field. So however, with the onset of IT recession, things have changed and the industry is witnessing a shift in demand. You can say for certain skills. So the IT recession has created a challenging environment for both experienced professionals as well as new graduates. So many companies have reduced their workforce, you can say, and taking a more cautious approach towards hiring the talent, right? So it is understandable that this situation may cause anxiety or you can say uncertainty among you people. So, however, you should note, or it is not, you can say, important to remember that the recession is the end of the road, and you cannot come out of that. It's just a hurdle, you can say, which we need to overcome. So, as you can say, alumni who have experienced the ups and downs of the IT industry, I encourage you to, you can say, share your experience as well as insights with our current students. So your guidance, I'll say, it will be invaluable in helping and navigate through, you can say, these uncertain situations. So I urge all the students to stay motivated and keep learning and be adaptable. So I'll say that I hope that this discussion will inspire you or as well as motivate you to pursue your dreams and to the even the alumni will contribute in the continued success of our institute. So in conclusion, I would like to thank our alumni for taking your time and coming down over here to discuss your views or experience with our students. Again, I would like to thank our faculty members for organizing this event, and I hope that everyone here today will find it will be informative, engaging, as well as inspiring. So thank you, and I wish you all that a productive as well as enlightening panel discussion. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to invite our Honorable and Dignified Principal, Dr. S.G. Martinez, sir, on the stage to speak a few words.
Better I speak little. Friends, I always feel younger when I share dice with you. That is the first thing. And day by day I grow younger, as I believe, because these kids also teach me something new every day. Yesterday I was on the dais of civil engineering, and similar kind of program is going across all the departments. And there I made a statement which I would like to reiterate here. But this will spark debate here, I know. And the echoes of that statement continued till evening. She was the witness. And when I do it in the Department of Computer Engineering, I know what I'm going to speak. So I repeat what I said. I said that computing is not engineering education only, because this is what I learned from very renowned professors. I learned from all of this. So kindly excuse me. So writing a code or getting some back end front end design doesn't mean that you solve the problem. Firstly, please keep this thing in mind. And unless and until you engrave this into your mind, such a topic will not trouble you at all anytime. No doubt it is a relevant topic. So, full compliments to all of you for debating, and people those who have witnessed one kind of recession already, because some of you passed in 2011-12 already, yeah. So we have already gone through a decade change. Yes. And in IT, a decade is a very large period, as I understand. So, in fact, yesterday, I just remembered one mail from my student from Singapore again, SKLC body, written in 2008. She had written me a very long mail, and she wanted me to focus on those things for the benefit of the youngsters coming batches. And there she had portrayed, it's supposed to meet me this week, but she had portrayed a scenario. It is a mail in 2008. She was recruited in 2007. Now, after witnessing 1 year in IT industry, and at the end of the year, similar scenario. So many recruiters throwing out fresher batches and again trying to look for younger blood and that kind of scenario. And then she wanted to say me that, sir, please look into those issues because this is going to happen every cycle. So it continues. My question to all of you is that if you have problem-based learning approach in your mind embedded, then why do you worry about recession? In recession, the best will always come. And recession word is immediately backed up by opportunity. One should not forget because recession creates thousands of opportunities, millions of opportunities. So why we are afraid of recession? People are being thrown because they have been lazy. They are not catching up with the trends. See, I must tell you with some superiority complex. I was the first person in the building who introduced ChatGPT to my colleagues and said, is it?
Yes.
So I fiddled with it. I tried a number of things and shared my experiences. But if I don't do this, I don't qualify to be a teacher. I don't upgrade. So same is for you. You are not fit to be engineers if you don't catch up with the trends and try to address the problems. I demotivated a batch of computer engineering students yesterday evening around 6 o'clock. But I said, are they there? इधर आए कब
Day
तक?
before yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yes.
And I said that the discussion is open, you can come down to me. But writing a code and writing a good front end creating and then creating something that we have done some very great thing doesn't mean that. I hate those people who feel that we are on the earth because we can write a code in Java and we are superior. It's not like that. Try to go to the problem and how do you solve it? Which tool you use is immaterial. Those tools keep on changing. All those tool sets we are talking of, we never dreamed of all those things. We never, because those were not in existence. And those will keep on changing. Tool hardly matters. The approach with which you try to tackle the problem or sense the problems and try to give the solution is something which are the qualities of a good engineer. And unless and until you develop those, if you do that, I don't think that you'll be worried about the impact of recession. All right, 400 students, freshers are going to be thrown out, but I am not amongst 400, but I am above those 400 who company would like to retain. That kind of superiority complex you should be developing. All right, we learn from their experiences. I'm not going to be a hurdle between you and them, and I know that this is not a generation change also, that the dais is old and older persons and they keep on talking and you go on listening. So because there is no generation gap as such, there will be questions, there will be friendly discussions, interactions. That is what I expect through this alumni sessions. Friends, I must confess that SITS, because the first thing I told you that we are meeting again on 19th. I must confess that this institute did not do well at all as far as the alumni connect is concerned. I agree. But we have last 1 year, we have been taking sincere efforts to connect back the alumni. And I'm sorry to say, but as well as proud to say that we'll be conducting the first ever alumni meet on 19th of May. I'm sure that there will be many, and this will be a regular event. Not only meeting for the evening dinner, but through different ways and means, and to listen from all of you. We are eager to do that. Please convey this message to all your friends. I'll be very happy if alumni from 2011-12, and especially those successive 5 years, they come back here because they have seen already one decade having spent, and I'm sure that benefit will be passed on to younger kids also. My uh, maybe this is a reputation for you, but one of my celebrity friends, big name in IT industry, and whenever I listen to him, whenever I'm present on his invitation and in the function, it's compulsory for me to sit in the front row, and he always teases me and he criticizes me. So I attend his function, he's a celebrity. I attend his function only to get criticized. That is the kind of friendship we have. But he often says that, Professor Markande, you have good database of students when the students are with you in the college. So 4 years, our department has all the list, every roll call and their mobile numbers and contact numbers. And they keep on troubling you also. You are not here, your attendance low, this and that. And that is the time when the students hate you like anything. We are hated by them. But when the students go out, I'm sorry to say, we don't have updated database of their contacts. And then that is the time when the students are eager to come back to the institute, and unfortunately we don't have any updated contact details. We are trying to bridge this, we are trying to change this. I'm sure that we have been partly successful also, but we'll keep on doing that, and we would like to strengthen the alumni association. I take that this is the beginning today in every department, and then there will be more interaction, because I know that this is absolutely essential. If you let me tell you a very simple thing. All over national or even on international scenario, these networks are the strongest networks. Let's go to any interview. If the person interviewing is from NIT, he will always look for the person coming for interview from NIT. That kind. That kind of thing, if it is happening, then we should also have a very strong network wherein SITs will figure very strongly. So this is what we aim at, and I'm sure that this will start happening very soon. Thank you very much for coming, and I'm sure that it will be a very good experience for you also. And you will not be sitting and just listening, but you will be posing some questions. Those come to your mind freely. There will be good interactive session. Congratulations to the department, faculty, as well as all of you, and thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Varun Srinivasa sir, alumni from the batch 2011 to 2012. Varun sir is a software craftsman with over a decade of experience and is currently servicing as the Director of Technology at Coditas. He started his career as a PHP developer and co-founded Pseudosense Infotech Private Limited. He was responsible for aiding 200 plus startup companies worldwide in developing various mobile and web applications. He is passionate about building software solutions for real world problems and is well versed in lean stack development and JavaScript. He also enjoys science fiction movies, plays violin, and cooking. I request Principal Sir to please felicitate Mr. Varun sir with a token of love.
Guess what it could be?
We have Mr. Chandan Mishra, a student from batch 2011-12. He is a design leader with more than a decade of experience in user experience and interaction design and entrepreneurship. Currently,
Hello, hello.
Currently the director of design at Toyota. He is passionate about enabling software product teams and businesses to succeed through UX design strategy and best design practices. In 2012, he bootstrapped Pseudosaints Infotech Private Limited, a design-driven mobile app development startup that Coditas acquired in 2015. Right now, he is leading and scaling a team of passionate designers, and in the past 8 years, he has helped make Coditas an organization of 1,000 plus top-notch engineers and designers. I request Principal Sir to felicitate Mr. Chandan with a token of love.
Next in line, we have Mr. Prashant Bhosle from batch 2013 to 2014. He is working in MTech Technologies Private Limited, Pune, as a senior software engineer from June 2019 to presently. Previously worked in PointCross.com Software Limited, Bangalore, as a software engineer from October 2015 to June 2019, and has worked in Numura Analytics, Hyderabad, as a software engineer from October 14 to October 15. He has received Employee of the Month for the month of September 2019 in MTech, received 3 Karma points from client in MTech for the critical work carried out in the span of 1.4 years. I request Principal Sir to felicitate Mr. Prashant with a token of love.
I would like to bring your attention towards Mr. Abhishek Shinde from batch 2014-15 with a career objective as to achieve success in competitive environment of the corporate world and making a mark by my hard work, passion for the job and strong will to fulfill management expectations following ethical values. Being a consultant, IS and IGS, he is a part of on-state technologies and strategic venture working as server admin on Windows and Linux servers and manage service requests. He has an experience of 7 years, 10 months as follows. In Infosys, 1st July 2015 to 10th June 2016. Capita, 20th June 2016 to 28th December 2018. All state, 7th Jan 2019 until date. I would request HOD ma'am to felicitate Mr. Abhijit with a token of memento.
सरांनाच करू देतो ते तर तुमच्याच शेजारी आहे सर शिंदे सॉरी सॉरी मला वाटलं अभिजित पाटील आहे वेलकम.
Now we have Mr. Abhijit Patil from batch 2015 to batch 2016. He has completed his MTech from IIT Bombay in the year 2019. He is currently working as a senior development engineer in Calsoft, Pune. Having 2 years of experience in Hawaii, Bangalore, he is now working in Calsoft, Pune for the last 1.5 years. Mr. Abhijit Patil has experience in storage and networking domain. I request Principal Sir to felicitate.
दोन अभिजित आले त्याच्यामुळे गोंधळ झाला.
I would like to introduce Mr. Parth Gadgaji from batch 2020-21, working as full stack developer in .NET Technologies for the application that takes care of onboarding a genuine merchant after checking credibility of the same. While working in same, he helped in setting up entire new team for the project. He is an active part of social committee and helped in arranging and managing several corporate functions and activities. Along with this, he loves riding bikes and updating himself about automobiles and new technologies. I request HOD ma'am to felicitate Mr. Park with a token of love.
starting with I request HOD ma'am and principal sir to So without any further delays, I would like to hand over the podium to Mr. Varun for the panel discussion as he'll be leading it, and we wish everybody a very good one. Thank you so much.
Do we need mics? Hello, hello. All right. Hello. Excellent. So I used to be there, and then I was here a couple of times, and now again I'm here. Good to be here. How's everyone doing? All good? Awesome. Excited for the discussion? When I say discussion, I would want all of you to participate as well. Everyone is looking at me with blank faces. I'm getting scared. Everyone is like, "क्या चल रहा है इधर पता?" Right. So, like principals have just said, right? This entire impact of recession on career opportunities, it is an ongoing thing. Like it's just like any other thing. आज सब्जी के भाव कम हो गए, ज़्यादा हो गए. This is exactly that, right? कभी recession होगा, कभी नहीं होगा. That doesn't mean that it is going to impact you for life. ठीक है? होगा. Everyone will have some or the other impact of this. But that doesn't mean it is going to impact you for life. Things keep changing in the industry, things keep happening, something goes up, something goes down. There are too many jobs, and suddenly there are layoffs, then suddenly there are new openings somewhere. All that keeps happening. It's always a sine wave, right? That's how things work. So, for this particular discussion, let's maybe get everybody's inputs first on what their opinion is on the on the topic that we have, which is impact of the recession on the IT industry, and then we can move on towards a discussion around what everybody here thinks, and then we can conclude with whatever is the outcome. Does that make sense? Yes. Awesome. Who wants to start?
Varun, you can sit. You can sit.
I feel more comfortable.
More energetic.
Yes, more energetic. I can speak more energetic this way. Awesome. So let's start from there. You know.
Then you can sit.
I can.
You will try this. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello. Ah, what? It's not answer.
So yeah, you're audible. Go ahead. ऐसी जोर से बोलो यार.
So, if we see the impact of this recession on IT industry, for that we need to understand how IT industry works in the whole sense. Like if we see the past decades and from our childhood as well, the part of IT in our world and the how IT is progressing in their way. So before we jump into the that discussion, we need to understand how it works, right? It's not just like another any industry where the type of work we do, type of work we gonna do in our whole lifestyle. That's the thing we need to discuss on. And it just like IT, the IT is just involved in all the things, right? So even if we take the simple basic things which we use on daily basis, which is a mobile, and we see the generation how it is growing. So in that sense, you can see at our childhood what was the way of communication and what's the right now. So there's a huge difference of the impact is there. So that's why the you need to understand this is a fast growing industry, and for that you need to update on that, and that's why there will, if it is a fast growing industry, there will be some changes for them. So that's why the as you said, and the principal said, as you said, the recession is not something to be bothered about, but it's something to be discussed about.
Exactly.
It just be, if you know more information about it, you will just feel more relaxed about it, and you can work on that. Correct?
That's really well put, Abhijit. And again, you can see that trend, right? Principal sir said, I said, he's also saying the same thing, that it's something that happens, right? Like I said, कांदे के भाव बढ़ गए फिर कम हो गए, वही है, रिसेशन भी वैसा ही है, कभी आएगा कभी जाएगा, ठीक है? दैट डजंट इम्पैक्ट्स अस. सब बोलते हैं अरे यार कितना महंगा हो गया टमाटर आज, अगले दिन फिर 2 रुपए किलो हो जाएगा, right? That's how it is. That's how it works generally, right? Recession is exactly like that. We need to discuss why it's happening, what's happening, and see how we can ride through the way. That's it. Parth, you want to talk about something?
So just to add on that, have anyone invested in the share market? Anyone? If not, you should. So, have you seen that back in 2020, when COVID just hit us, the share market was all down.
Correct.
And apart from all those uncertainty, it again bounced back when people started investing more. That's how it is. You invest more in yourself. This recession, you can develop new skills among yourself, and that will not affect you as much as you think it will. So just to add on that sine wave thing, I and yeah, you must invest. That's the point.
Yeah. So, Parth, we all are earning. They are not. Not yet, at least.
We are still investing our dad's money. We can invest it.
My 90% students sitting in the hall, they are earning.
अरे वाह, earning
Yes.
knowledge क्या मैम, और earning money.
Not money.
I knew it.
I saw that coming.
And at the right time, we have Mr. Ambani on the screen.
Maybe few students have joined. Maybe few students join you.
Yes. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Chandan?
Sure.
What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's wonderful. I'll probably take a step back and start my opinion with a quick story. When I joined SITS, I remember visiting a friend. He had joined ENTC, and I met his mother at his house, and his mother asked me, "What stream have you joined after diploma?" So I finished my diploma and then joined a degree. I told her I joined computer science. The first thing she tells me, "Computer science में scope नहीं है." Right? And I'm sitting there, you can imagine, right? And then second year, and just a kid, and somebody who's senior is telling me computer science में scope नहीं है. I'm like, my whole dreams were shattered. अब मैं क्या करेगा लाइफ में? I can't go back home tell my parents कि आपने जो फीस भरा है ना वापस ले लो. I'm going to start selling pav bhaji and whatnot. But anyway, so we know the history, right? Fortunately, I moved out of computer science. But when Mother and I started our company, I started developing interest in design. That's how I moved there. So I moved my career from computer science to design. Anybody here understands, knows about user experience design by any chance? Just two of you? My job is safe. I don't have a lot of competition. That's it. Anyway, so adding to what he said, we also need to understand why recession occurs. So during COVID, what happened, I don't know how closely you guys monitored, government started pumping hell lot of money into economy to make sure that the companies survive. What that essentially means is money was available much more cheaply. House interest rates, loan rates were low, so I got a house, of course. Um, I rode the wave. And then again, in general, corporate loans were cheaper, so I had simply more money to pay salaries. So I hired left, right, and center. I got whoever I wanted. And then, of course, money started getting more expensive. The loan is not something that you can easily acquire as a business. So you have a shortage of money. So of course, I don't have money. I can't pay you salary. So you can either decide to work for free. If you work for free, I have to bear the infrastructure cost, right? I need people to manage you. I need AC bills and whatnot. So it is easy for companies to let people go in such scenarios, and that is where we see, situations like what we are witnessing right now, and not to scare you, but it is going to get tougher in the coming, 2 or 3 quarters at least before it gets better. So the impact of recession on IT is something that you can understand if you understand the reasons why those things happen, and that is precisely what you guys just mentioned. And one thing that will always stand out is if you are strong enough, if you are skilled enough, if you are valuable, no company in this entire world will ever let you go. But if you are somebody like me, when I was in college, right, I remember I went the first placement drive that I attended. I remember I went to the first floor. I look back. There's ocean of people. All I see is heads. And the first thought in my head, which I still carry today, is why would this company hire me? There are thousands of other people standing there. I still don't have an answer to it, but that question still pushes me to do good whatever I do. I got into design. I wanted to be the best that I do. You know, and even today, whatever that I do, that thought is always, why would Coditas hold on to me? Right? You should always have that question bother you. You should not let it, if you have that thought in your head, you will never settle. You don't have to worry about layoffs. They will come, they will go. Sometimes you'll be unfortunate, sometimes you'll be the fortunate ones. Start up your own product, today's day and age, why not? Right? I remember Varun and I have built multiple different products over weekends for no money at all, and a lot of them found success, right? Um, I don't know if you guys know about push bullet. We came up with an idea which was like push bullet before push bullet became famous and became a $1 billion company. Of course, we are here, and push bullet is a different world altogether. So keep reinventing yourself. Don't worry about these things. So sine wave hai, aega jayega. Always be clear. Why would somebody pay attention to you and not somebody else who's sitting right next to you, right? So as long as you have that thought in your head, your life is safe. Don't worry.
Awesome. Thanks, Chandra. And definitely agree with what he said. Right? It is your skill. You have to be the best at what you do. Right? That has to be the thought you have. Right? And you should have that thinking. No, I can do good. Right? I'm still not the best. I can still become the best. I can still become the best. Do that. And by the way, I don't know how many of you know, Chandan is one of the most popular user experience designers in India. Right? If you look at popular UX profiles,
मैं 500 रुपए बाद में देता हूँ.
so regardless of that, right? Whether you are good or bad, recession and layoffs, like he said, could affect anyone, right? Layoffs, and again, this is where I would like to deviate a little from what principal sir said of being at the core being a problem solver, right? That is good, but a lot of the layoff decisions sometimes are not dependent on whether you're good or bad, right? Sometimes they happen just because they are paying you more, they are paying someone else lesser, they will let you go because they can save more money. It's as simple as that. It's business, right? धंधा का वसूल है. पैसे बचाओ. पैसे बचाने इसको सबसे ज्यादा पैसे दे रहा हूँ, इसको निकाल रहा हूँ. पैसे बच जाएंगे मेरे, right? The value addition you were doing was probably significantly more than others, but you might still get impacted. That doesn't mean it's the end of the world. That doesn't mean it's the end of life, right? That means there are other companies who will be willing to pay you again. You should have that confidence, and to have that confidence, you should be sure that you have good skills, and you get that by wanting to become the best and then becoming the best. Yeah, cool. Thanks, Chandan. I'm sorry, I forgot your question. Yes.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. I totally agree with what Varun says. I know he has tons of experience than I guess every one of us, except you both are at the same level. But yeah, for us, whatever he says or principal sir says, they are all experienced. They have seen the world more than what we have seen. So yes, these experience does count. For me, I was also under the same impression. And when we say recession, uh, everyone might have heard or read about it. So, if we just boil down to the reasons of it, yes, pandemic was one reason of it. Let's stick to one reason and let's start our discussion. let's say pandemic hit. What happened? Everyone started sitting at home. Everyone started spending less. Now, what will happen if someone starts spending less? The moment you start spending less, the other industries start affecting. We as human being or middle class people, we won't come to know the impacts of it. But on the larger scale, where the large companies have put up their money, they start experiencing the heat of it. Now their whatever they have set up the empire, that starts degrading. Now let's take an example that people started sitting. Now no one is going out of their homes, no one is roaming around. What will happen? People will start traveling. Let's say traveling is one area which got affected. What will happen if traveling gets affected? All the airline industries will get affected. Now, what will happen to that industry? If airlines is affected, obviously the airline staff will get affected. What will happen? Now, airline industry, let's say they have 10,000 rupees budget and they have 100 employees. Now, they have to surface or they have to stand under this 10,000 rupees, which is next to impossible. The decision that most of these companies take will obviously start laying off people. Now, laying off all depends on their company, whom to lay off, which employee to lay off, why they are laying it off. So that is left to the company, but that is the first step that every industry will take. Now, this is how it starts boiling. Now, traveling is one area which got affected. Like this, there were many areas in the world which got affected. Now, why IT is more concerned? Now, if we say traveling, airlines is one area. Now, there are many industries or many corporate people which work for industries. We have TCS, we have Infosys, all these service-based companies, they work for these airline industries, right? Now, remember, if a certain area of the industry is getting affected, that heat gets downsided to all the areas. Now that effect or that heat gets boiled down to all the subordinate industries and they will get impacted immediately. The moment one gets impacted, all the rest areas will get affected. Now, how to survive? I guess Darwin had this theory, right? Survival of the fittest. This is the main mantra of it. The more strong you are, the more fit you are, you will stand out. Now, how you do it is what Varun rightly said. Keep an eye on your skills. Keep an eye on what you have and what others don't have. What he said is rightly correct. When industry started coming up for hiring, why they would hire me? What is that I have extra than what others don't have? If this mindset is with you, you will survive any field. So if this experience or this mindset is what you have, I guess let it be a recession or let it be a downfall, you will always be standing out and you will always be in a position that the company won't let you off. But even if they let you off, you have that skill set in mind that any other company will hire you. So keep that in mind and let's proceed with the next panel.
Awesome,
Thank you.
awesome. Thanks, Prashant. So again, that's exactly what Abhijit also said in the beginning, right? Our industry, the IT industry, is something that connects all the other industries. If a small, downfall in any industry impacts our IT industry. That is fortunately or unfortunately the industry we are in. When everything is booming, we are also booming. When everything is falling, we are also falling. Right? That's how it is structured. For example, he mentioned travel, right? Travel and hospitality was the most impacted sector during the lockdown, right? No one was traveling. They could not. All, worldwide. It was not just India. It's a worldwide thing, right? No one was able to travel. Travel, tourism, पूरा बंद हो गया. So all the companies that had, built technologies to enable travel, to make travel easier, airlines, hotels, all of your, make my trip type platforms, which have, thousands of technologists, developers, software engineers who build your websites. They had no money. What would they do? They have to lay off, right? So that is something that always happens to us. And like he said, survival of the fittest is the mantra you must go by. Like, that is it. Survival of the fittest is something that is going to happen. And here the key thing that I would like to correct is when survival does not mean you still have your job. You, even if you are the fittest of the fittest, you could be laid off, right? As as people in IT industry or as engineers in general, software engineers in general, you must know that as in there is value for you, but at the same time the market is also crowded, right? So Your value can be utilized elsewhere, but there might be someone who might not see that value and they will lay you off. That doesn't mean you're bad, right? That is something you should keep in mind all the time. Just because a company laid you off, just because tomorrow all of us get fired, doesn't mean we are not good, right? That's the I'm not saying all of us are. I don't know. Right? So yeah, so that's the general mindset you should go with. Abhijit, do you want to?
Hello, good morning. So my thought on this particular recession thing is like, it doesn't gonna affect you guys, okay? First of all, immediately. You are not the first, I would say the impact bearer person. So you will be the entry level engineers. So obviously, as sir said, recession brings on the opportunities and you will be the first one who will be grabbing onto them. So all you have to make sure, like when you grab them and when you get into the company, you are not in the next phase when the next recession comes. So to tackle that, all you have to do is like upskill yourself, cross skill yourself. Like your job profile says you do one thing, that doesn't mean you do one thing and go, like log out for the day or go off. You just keep on checking what else is there. Your company provides many learning platforms, like they partner with the like we have in our company we have degree courses. So I myself, when I'm done for the day, what I do is okay, let's see what's there on degree, because that adds to my CV. Okay, so immediately you won't be affected, but what you have to make sure, when once you get into the company, you're not in next in the line. Okay, once you make sure that, and again as Parth suggested, like once you start earning, you have to make sure you like at least invest 20%, 30%. So even if let's say you are the best or you are the fittest candidate, but you still got laid off, you have some insurance over that. Okay, over a period of 3-4 months, I have my invested money to back me up, and that will not lose my morale down, and I will find myself a better company. And nowadays it's not like the company selects the candidate. The candidate also should see, okay, what next company I'm going to join, because if layoff come and this company is not stable, okay, they are doing well. Like just to give an example of Byju's, okay, Byju's was boom and they hired so many people. But if you see the data, they are the first company in India. They are laid off 4,000 people so far in just like 4 months. So it's not like, okay, you go after the brightest star. You have to look for the legacy companies who have their assets. You have to study the company as well, because it's not just your time is invested over there, but you make sure that okay, we are gonna land on the safe land, even if there is a recession. Like I'm personally feel about my company, like my company is in the loss of $1 billion for last 2 quarters, but still I like due to our performance and everything, we got the like 15 to 20% of appraisal. If like everyone knows, 15-20% is good for appraisal thing. So that's how you have to make sure. Like so, as soon as you enter the company, your real journey starts. It's not the destination; it's the starting point. And from there, you keep on hustling every day, and you have to make sure you are not getting into that particular zone. And then that's like rest you will figure out. Like that's
Awesome, awesome. Thanks, Abhijit. So one thing that I would like to, differ on from what he said is, for you guys, especially, right? Because they're in their learning phase right now, right? And if you do not have huge responsibilities, like if your parents depend on you कि अच्छा हमने बच्चे को engineering पढ़ाया, वो job लेगा, हमारी देखभाल करेगा. If that is the situation you are in, then go for a stable company. That has to be your focus. But if you have the freedom, if your parents are ready to support you for the next 2 years, experiment. ठीक है, get your degree, डिग्री है, you are good, तुम्हें जॉब तो मिल जाएगा पता है, but experiment, join a startup. Like Chandan and I used to call it gadha majuri. Like work, put in extra hours. Like for the first few years of your career, put in extra hours. That is how you become the best. That is how you become the fittest, right? You can't be like अरे नहीं आज 8 घंटे हो गए मैं कल करता हूँ. If you have that mindset, right, that will not work. Which is what he said. He's doing extra courses in his company. You should do that. We are in a day and age right now where information is available as a chutki mein. You can learn about anything.
There are hundreds of YouTube courses. There are good courses, bad courses, average courses about each and everything. Right? हर एक चीज के बारे में whatever you want to learn, right? Doesn't matter. There is a course on YouTube for that. You don't even have to pay anything. And fortunately, we are in India. India is one of the cheap countries where data is the cheapest. Right? Other countries in the world, data is not as cheap as it is in India. हम लोग सब जियो सिम लेते हैं 2-2 GB का रिचार्ज करके YouTube वीडियो देख सकते हैं. Other countries that is not there. That is where people are saying India is going to shine. Right? So make use of that. Right? Spend time on YouTube. Spend time on when I say spend time on YouTube, I'm not saying अरे मुझे वो बाइक लेना है उसके सारे वीडियोस देखना है. Right? That's not what I mean. Right? What I mean is what he said. Like upskill yourself. Watch something that might help you upskill. ठीक है, पूरा का पूरा कोर्स मत करो उसका. Like React JS in 1 hour करके एक वीडियो होगा. Watch that. It will not make you an expert, but you'll at least be aware क्या है React JS. Right? And that matters a lot. Right? So being
Yes, sir. Please allow me to leave.
Of course, sir. No problem, sir.
Sure. See you. It is getting interesting. I told madam that I can't resist before making few comments. Friends, sorry. Sorry, I have to leave, but I know that it is getting very interesting. I'll catch up with the YouTube video which he is already doing that. You are doing it very nicely. You have another field open for you.
Survival of the fittest.
I can't resist where you express the deviation from what I said. As a youngster, I did not want to show the second side which you perhaps hinted at. Because my concern is that they should be doing it so nicely that always they will be fitting into playing 11, the profit making model of the company. Nobody should be a 12th man anytime in the team. That is the concern, and they have to excel. They have to show that others that I'll be fitting, I'll be wanted, whatever is the revenue model. All right, that is the only concern as a teacher. You are adding really interesting way the value addition, but I leave this dais with a question which will be also interesting for the further discussion. And I know that you are the best persons to comment on it, and these people will also look at it very seriously. I don't remember name of the website, but you can correct me. There's one site which describes all the countries in the world with a single line description, not even a line, but whatever shortest way. Even there are 2-3 words. Alright, I don't remember that site. You might be, or anybody would be knowing. So yeah, what is it? Somebody wanted to say? Do you know? Otherwise, I'll tell you the next day. I'm getting older, so I don't remember right now. But my son told that, Baba, have you seen how India is seen by the world? So that website tells how every country in the world is seen by the other countries. So do you know what is the image of India all over the world? Sometimes you feel proud about it, but sometimes you feel that no, this is not. The world sees at you as a service providing industry. Is it good? That is my question to all of you. And I'm sure that all of you will debate most interesting way. At the same time, there will be some serious question answering also on this, because we should not be just serving as the service providing sector. I feel that there should be product based industry growing in this country. There are some good examples as of now we know, and they are standing very tall in the entire world, but still those are few, and we are looking at all of you from that angle also, and I know that you are contributing to that. So best of luck. Sorry I have to leave. but I'll catch up, and the invitation I already gave. So please keep on coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that was
Yeah, that was a very, very interesting outlook. India as the service provider for the world. And maybe let's take that as the next topic and look at what everyone has to, think about that. But before that, any questions anyone has on, what we spoke about till now? Anything anyone wants to add? जरूरी की questions ही पूछने हैं. कुछ भी, anything anyone wants to add? Yes, please. Um, sure. So I'll
I
maybe,
would like to,
yeah,
yeah,
please.
So, for a matter of fact, I have a lot of CA friends in my circle. I don't know how. And when you speak with them, do you know what they say? CA field is saturated. CA as a field is saturated. What you said, CA as a chartered accountant as a career option, not feeling the heat of the session, is not right. So when you speak with them, like when you get into the depth of how these things function, mathematically it makes sense to you. Getting it? But the ground reality is different. So the competition is everywhere. Right? Every field. If you're a farmer, it doesn't matter. If you're CEO of a large company, it doesn't matter. When we talk about technological advancement or in general recession, economy being affected, um, everyone is going to be touched. So some people are going to be touched very deeply. Some of them are going to be affected very adversely. Some of them are going to be probably at the surface. But but yeah, that's all right. So what you mentioned is in theory excellent. I hope it happens. I hope all of us are able to figure it out. But at the end of the day, we need to accept it as a natural way. It's like dying. What if we do something as a group that nobody dies? Getting it right? So for us to grow, we need to go through a lot of ups and downs. Recession happens to be one of the factors which makes industries and people, skills, everything grow. If you don't have a recession, trust me, all of you will be sleeping at your homes, you will have money coming to your bank account, you'll be doing nothing, right? So, to solve a problem, you need to understand why the problem exists. Some problems are good.
Necessary, yeah, very well said. Because here, that's the thing. Recession is not a problem. It's gonna happen. It's
yeah,
not
it will
something
happen.
we are planning to avoid it, or it just we are trying to be prepared for it. Because
Exactly.
it's something gonna happen. Like it's not something we want winter for whole year because I like winter. It's like the
It's
part of the
exactly
nature.
that.
It's a part. It's a cycle. It goes on.
So, exactly. Yep.
We are seeing a lot of no-code tech out there. App builders are there, website CMS also.
Yep.
So, and my question is not actually related to recession, but how it's gonna affect the IT industry or the people over there working over in the IT industry, no-code tech. So, I want your input.
So that's a topic close to
All of our
our
hearts,
hearts
probably.
probably.
Right? We were talking.
We are into business. We are a small business comparatively.
Okay.
I am mostly looking forward for CMS or not hiring a heavy developer. I just look forward for app builder or something like that. So it's for helping me out.
Of course.
Of
Of
course,
course.
of course.
Of course. So any kind of no code or whatever it is that you have, right? No code tech, all of that. No code is a keyword that has come now. No code has always been there forever. For example, you mentioned CMS and app builders, right? Even when we were in college, Chandan and I used to attend something called there's a CMS called WordPress, right? So WordPress ka there used to be events that happen. We used to attend. उस टाइम पे भी देयर वर ऐप बिल्डर्स, राइट? यू कुड बिल्ड एप्स, ड्रैग एंड ड्रॉप, ऐप बना दो, बन गया। प्ले स्टोर, लाइक क्लिक अ बटन, इट्स पब्लिश टू द प्ले स्टोर, इट्स डन, योर ऐप इज रेडी, राइट? That has always, just that we never called it no code, right? We called it a wizard, we called it a drag and drop builder, or whatever it is. We have just started calling it no code now, right? How that impacts all of us, uh, we can take everyone's opinions, but I personally feel that, we should embrace it, but at the same time, वो no code भी किसी को तो बनाना है. Siri, no. So that no code tool also someone has to create, right? That has to be someone among you, among us, right? Uh, it services a completely different market altogether, right? Instead of as a hey, uska bhi need hai, iska bhi need hai, right? It's as simple as that. Just like there is a need for a Maruti car, there is a need for a Mercedes. Both survive. It's exactly like that. Right? Anyone else wants to add anything else on that?
Yeah, the other thing is whenever you use, whenever I am loud enough, whenever we talk about these tools, right? Building is just one part. Now we are part of services industry, so we understand that deeply. When you build something and you deploy, that is a very small percentage of the actual work needed. You will have continuous things coming in. You will have to study customers' feedback. Some other competitor will come up with something new, and then immediately you will realize the no-code platform that you are using does not support those additional capabilities. So you'll need someone to build it. The someone could be another no-code platform. If all I remember there used to be a tool called Dreamweaver.
Yes, yep.
I guess I've heard, right?
Yeah.
So when I was trying to learn to code, in bracket, trying to bother Varun every now and then, I came across Dream Code. I was like, my mind was blown. Like, I don't need a front-end developer. I can drag and drop stuff and I can build things. We all know how pathetic that tool was. But of course, like it laid foundation to a lot of modern day no-code, low-code platforms, and it's going to grow.
And according to your page, there are so many templates around.
Yes.
UI, UX. So
Yeah.
people would like just get
People
a
don't.
template.
People don't.
Chandan still
That is
has
an
a job
assumption.
for a reason.
See, what you just said, in fact, has been something that I've heard umpteen times. In fact, I have had that feeling. Why would somebody come to me to have them build an e-commerce app, right? But the point is, e-commerce is one vertical. There are thousand other verticals. I can build whatever I want. And second thing is, when we talk about consumer behavior, it changes. The way you shop, when you go to a shopping mall, the kind of products you buy, the time you take, the colors you like, design is going to be completely different from the person who's sitting right next to you. So when I build something from a user experience standpoint, I need to understand your psychology, that person's psychology, and then figure out. When you come up with a template, it's a general thing. Like for example, you go to a shop, एक t-shirt रखा है, everyone can come and buy it. But वैसा होता नहीं है. Everyone needs different sizes of t-shirts. So that is precisely what happens with no code or template-based things or whatever you talk about, right? I have never seen them as a threat. With ChatGPT coming up, generative AI, both of us, we are I still get goosebumps when I think about possibilities. Still, when you go to YouTube, I was speaking with somebody in my team the other day. You go to YouTube, you try to search for generative AI. What do you see? Generative AI is coming for your job, right? IT freshers hiring will not happen because generative AI. It's just that fear mongering. I was
Exactly.
I was watching a video. The strongest emotion that a human being has. Now my job is to understand human emotions, so I get into that. Is fear. That is how all of us have evolved, right? Through the cave age also. Fear of survival. Now, fear can be utilized as a way for you to suppress yourself, get depressed, do something weird, or it can push you. That decision is yours. Nobody else. I can't come, today tell you that your parents can't do it, or your teachers can't do it. That is what all of us as a professional individuals will have to understand. It is on us if we let the fear drive us to death, or we want the fear to help us conquer. Right. So that's what. So yeah, as in, I think we will get to the point of generative AI. We have been doing.
Ma'am that we'll get to ChatGPT. She
Yeah,
has
yeah.
different complaints about ChatGPT.
But yeah, this is wonderful. Yeah, at your age now, I see a lot of possibilities for you guys. And and it's excellent. I remember when I was sitting on that end, I was like, "ये कौन है यार? क्या बोले जा रहा है? My girlfriend is waiting for me in the canteen. I need to get out." Right now, when I'm on this side, I realize ki, how right our teachers were, how right people who were there on the panel. I'm smiling at me. Yeah, we have modeled them enough. But yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah. And your future is bright. Yeah, in short, like seriously.
Recession or no recession?
Yeah. It's going to be wonderful. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Cool. You had something to say?
Yeah, like in this generative code, all these things. If it is cycle of project, and I guess you might have seen in the software engineering, when the product get created, like it's not something they directly jump into the code. Or coding is not the whole part. It's the whole cycle is there. They like requirement gathering is there, the design is there. Then after that, even if we code it, then after that there is a testing is there. Yeah. So it's a whole cycle is there, and into that as well, this generative AI, it's not something you just tell them I want this app and they will just simply. It just they create a small model, and which is totally fine, because ultimately you gonna search those codes over the Google or somewhere else, because it's highly impossible to write whole project by yourself. You need to you anyways you are earlier you are finding over the Google, and now it's just you are writing a statement and you are getting them. It's just here, it's developers' job getting easier. So yeah, I understand that the people will get scared and there will be something, but it just the role will get changed and the only the pattern will get changed. So I as well think this generative AI as very positive.
Yeah, definitely. So generative AI is definitely positive. But did we answer your question? Yeah, can have a seat. Thank you.
I just have to add two.
Sure, please.
Yeah. So first thing, you being in a computer engineering background, you and a business background, you will be positive enough to use no code platform or a chat GPT platform. But let's say healthcare or airline, the business people won't like to drag and drop their website. So that is one thing. So it's not that if you know things, and if you are doing as a business, if you are doing all the things, that is also a bad thing. So that's the one thing. And the another one which I would like to add is, when I was on the other side, there was one session held over here, maybe a seed infotech. What they said is, the testing team, their job is at a threat. What they said, that testing है वो कर रहे हैं, एक मतलब flow है वो कर रहे हैं. Now we suddenly automate that phase. We are now moving to automation. What I see in my own company is, the same tester who used to test it now automates it. So that's how the cycle goes on.
Adapt and survive. That's the bottom line here. That's the theme that's emerging, right? Adapt and survive. That's it. Right?
और एक ऐसे इंस्टा वगैरह पे मीम आता है ना कि एआई इतना जनरेट कर रहा है, बहुत क्लाइंट से रिक्वायरमेंट लेके दिखा है. It's like it is very hard to discuss with the client की what they want. It happened with me that like one morning, like my I had like US bank. One morning I had discussion that okay, we want this, and the like I made the I said, and the very next day said, no, we don't want this, we want something else. So it's something ki, there we need a human interaction. There we need like you said, lot of things works on emotion, and it just the AI is something okay that helps us to ease our things, but there will be something which there will be new requirement where new opportunities are there, and I'm just happy with that.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So again, to sum up the answer to your question, right? Using no-code platforms is good. It's an accelerator, but it doesn't really mean तुमने सब कुछ बना लिया no-code से. Do it to start a business, to get your first 100 customers, whatever it is good, right? But then at some point you have to scale, right? For example, why does Facebook, Instagram still have thousands of software engineers? Why does Ola ने तो ऐप बना दिया, चल रहा है, क्यों चाहिए? Why do they need engineers now? Right? It is some software, na, it is never done, it is never complete. There's always, अरे ये एक फीचर ऐड करते हैं, अरे वो करते हैं, अरे इसके लिए वो कर. सॉफ्टवेयर इज नेवर डन. ठीक है, it is always evolving. The Facebook you were using, Instagram you were using 4 years ago versus the Instagram you are using today is very different. You don't realize it because they have gradually changed things, right? But if you compare it right now, you will say अरे हाँ like button यहाँ हुआ करता था, अभी तो यहाँ पे है, right? It changes, it always happens, right? So for that, your no code solutions might not have everything based on what I have experienced till now. You need software development, then you need custom development. All the no code tools that I have seen says okay, you there are 10 components it gives, and there is a 11th component called custom code. सही है ना? Right, and you ultimately end up using a lot of custom code components. So no code में भी तुम code लिख रहे हो, right? Ultimately that's happening. Although that code might not be application level बहुत बड़ा, but still there is code, right? That's the whole point behind it. There is, if you have to express logic somewhere, you need code, right? That is what code is, right? Cool. You wanted to say
But
something.
here we can't deny the like ma'am as well said. Even if we are very positive about it, but yeah, we agree as well. Like I agree as well. It gonna impact some of the jobs.
Will, yeah, definitely will. Yes,
And
yes.
that we need to be prepared of.
Yeah,
Just
correct.
just
Correct. Yeah. It will absolutely impact jobs. Okay, like if you, for example, say there are two popular no code tools, Framer hai, there are a few more, right? If you say that you know it, you probably might get jobs, right? There are YouTube videos on how to make $500 a day using no code tools. Hey, like people are making money from that also, right? So there is a very real possibility, a very real threat that will take over. But ultimately, our writing code is something that will still be there. Yes. Right? Yeah. It will get impacted. You might not be writing application level code. You might be writing something else, doing something else. But as a skill, coding is going to be there. Even to build a few no code solutions, right? I don't know if you guys have seen people. How many here of you here have actually seen apps being built in no code? Okay, now that's the next. How many of you here know what is no code? पता चला हम 15 मिनट से नो कोड कर रहे हैं, everyone is like क्या कर रहे हैं ये लोग. So just some, no code is basically a trend or a keyword that is picking up for apps or softwares that enable you to build your own apps without writing code. ठीक है, आई ड्रैग एंड ड्रॉप, ये यहाँ डाला, ये यहाँ डाला, लाइक बटन यहाँ डाला, यहाँ पे ये डाल दिया, ये लॉगिन फॉर्म डाल दिया, डन, बन गया, राइट? दैट इज व्हाट नो कोड इज. You were going to say something.
Yeah. Just I'll give you one example to relate it, right? Where we are talking about no code. Let's say no code gives you a template. What you do with it? You will have to integrate it. Who will do it? An engineer will do it. What if there are issues with that code that the template gave you? Who will solve it? An engineer is required. So whoever gives you the ready-made code, I say it as a ready-made code because someone is giving you directly. He doesn't give you what has happened to it or how it gave it to you. It simply gives you some 3-4 lines of code, you integrate it. The moment there are issues with that template, you need an engineer, you need a tester to solve it, to debug it. At that moment, if you were totally reliable on that no code, your life is in danger, I would like to say. Because if you have not gone through the basics of how this has been designed, how to solve that issues, then I would say it is in danger. Because that is where a true engineer's skills lies. If you are strong in your debugging skills, if you are strong in your coding skills, no matter where you get that piece of code from, be it a chat GPT or be it Stack Overflow. Now, earlier we had Stack Overflow. No, we are all experienced guys. We still use Stack Overflow. We get used to the ready-made code. Even then, if you commit it, I know here everyone has committed their code and their manager say, I don't want this, I don't want that. Now you can't say that, okay, at the end it is at your place, your skills, how to change it, how to make use of it. So this is what I would like to say.
Yes, agreed. दुकान से पनीर लेके आ सकते हो, उसका भुर्जी तुम्हें ही बनाना.
Yeah, to avoid all this, basically, like everyone would be wondering, okay, they are talking about goals and everything, but I'm not good at development. I personally was not, okay, and even I'm not good at development right audience, I would say there are a lot other domains. Okay, there is like ITSM is there, there is a networking is there, cloud operations are there, DevOps are there. So don't worry about like if ChatGPT, like for these developers they will under okay, my job is under threat, okay, because so you guys can go into that domain where ChatGPT hardly will touch. Okay, so considering my Windows and Linux domain, ChatGPT won't bother about PowerShell scripting and how the packages are dropping here and there. So it might be there, but it won't be mainstream. Mainstream is what like they will find a product or they will create a user base to like ChatGPT basically like works on the tokens, and these tokens are mostly concerned about the like first hand products, like not on the back end, but the front end gets affected. I personally feel. So yeah, you can also browse those domains where you feel you are more comfortable, because not everyone over here will be comfortable with coding. Some are comfortable with testing as well. So explore in that way, okay? So that will help you again.
Excellent. Excellent. Cool. Let's maybe take 5 minutes to.
Somebody had a question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Actually, according to the point, no code like they have hire a developer in their app. So it's kind of making a business out of that. People don't know where to go. They hire a developer from us. They are making a business out of that.
No code companies are doing that, right? Exactly. Yeah. So no code platforms will let you build a simple app with, for example, something like a very simple website is something you can very easily build with no code. But if you want to, for example, say build an app like Ola Cabs, you can't do it with no code. No code companies will claim they can do it. They will say you outsource it to us, we'll build it for you with no code, right? Right. That is going to happen, right? But yeah, you're right.
That is again an engineer.
Yeah, that
again comes to an engineer.
comes to an engineer. Awesome. Cool. So let's take 5 minutes to touch upon what principals have said about India being a service industry. What are all of your thoughts on that? Oh, you have a question, yeah.
Should we work on like should we focus on the subjects which are used on which are usually outdated? Or
they are not outdated. Why do you think they are outdated?
यार हमें भी ऐसे ही लगता था.
I know. हमें भी ऐसे ही लगता था, but मैं आज ही मैम को पूछ रहा था प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ कंपाइलर डिजाइन नहीं है क्या अभी स्टूडेंट्स को, right? That's as in. So I work with a large team of Angular developers. Sorry, I'll let you finish your question.
So
Sorry.
should we focus on the subjects or work on the various frameworks like Angular and
Excellent. Angular पे ही बोलने वाला हूँ. Right? So I am primarily I work with Angular developers, right? So Angular is a framework that people use to build web apps. Very complex web apps use Angular, right? So if how does Angular work? You write code in TypeScript. It is transpiled into JavaScript, and then there are a lot of tokenization that happens. Not the ChatGPT tokenization. This is compiler ka concept, which I studied in college. AST is formed. AST is abstract syntax tree. वो tree बनता है, पूरा compile होता है code, right? And when you get into building larger apps, when you sit into debugging it, you see that अरे ये कुछ तो error आ रहा है, मुझे समझ नहीं रहा, right? अगर वो error समझना है ना deep में क्या है, what was it, how was the Angular compiler design, you needed this subject of principles of compiler design in college. I know a lot of people, who have joined, like, 2 years ago, people joined Coditas. I was discussing with them. They said, "Nahi hai abhi subject." I was shocked. It's like, "Arey, bahut acha subject tha. You should have seen. You should have read it." Right. So, the education system that we have, right? It is focused on core fundamental concepts. ठीक है, like whatever, like you said, networking पढ़ रहे हो अभी, उसका कोई यूज नहीं लगता है. Ask him. ठीक है, seriously ask him, right? So much so we were talking about, he said servers है, DevOps है, right? So for example, apps like your Instagram, Ola, they run on thousands of servers, right? Do you think those people managing those thousands of servers don't know what a NAT gateway is? They do. तुम्हें भी है NAT gateway, कोई तो subject में कहीं तो रहेगा. What is a NAT gateway? For you, it's just a topic in a book जो रटना और exam में लिख के आना है. But it's not that. It's a lot more than that, right? It boils down to that. So focus on understanding those concepts really well. ठीक है? And again, ma'am all the professors here, forgive me, do not think about anything कि मुझे एग्जाम के लिए पढ़ना है, ठीक है। मैं लास्ट टाइम भी एक बार आया था, वही बोल के गया था कि हमारा एजुकेशन सिस्टम ऐसे बन गया है कि सब कुछ एग्जाम के लिए पढ़ना है। एग्जाम के लिए नहीं पढ़ना, समझने के लिए पढ़ना है। दैट इज व्हाट विल हेल्प यू सेल थ्रू दिस, ठीक है। मेरा फाइनल ईयर में बैकलॉग था भाई।
I just want to add one thing. Whatever practical assignments we are having, so we supposed to explain that assignments logic, and we are expecting a new logic from the student. But now, 80% students what they are doing just copy paste the problem statement and get the relevant.
I want to.
No, and even students expect that the teacher should explain line by line code.
I want to add to that, and I'm truly saying कि I hate to admit this, but whatever assignment these have, they can help you to crack the interviews of Amazon, Microsoft.
Yes,
Because I was preparing for it, and like one day I just simply, I don't know, like over the mail there was some, and I was just going through those problems, and I was like, oh shit, these questions were present to me in my college, and like if you know those, if you are able to solve those problem statements, you can easily crack like Microsoft, Google interviews as well. And I'm not, I'm honestly saying, I'm not exaggerating. It is as simple as that, because it just, I totally understand you might not be able to solve today, but you need to understand, if you, even if you try to understand those things, just look for it, okay, what it's trying to do. So whatever you get today, like 1 or 2% as well, that's okay.
Correct, correct. So Google doesn't ask you about, do you know Angular. If you go to interview for Google or Microsoft, they'll not ask you that. They'll ask you about data structures. Yes. And you have that as a subject.
I'll just add one note. I'm just not exaggerating myself, but I know in 10th standard, this now, ma'am, you are asking about college. I will take you to my 10th standard. After 10th, we have vacations and then 12 starts, right? I learned C language in my 10th standard, and that too from a school teacher. And I told him that I want to learn how that screen looks, because that blue screen was something which attracted me when we write the C coding or C++. So that I still honor that person or the sir who taught me C language. That person had taught me line by line, which ma'am is telling now that students are expecting from teachers to explain line by line, which I had done it in 10th standard. And now I'm explaining the same code to my subordinates in the company line by line, and they ask me the same question that what ma'am is asking, that how did you learn the skills, that line by line what happens. Now it all depends on your interest. If you want to know what happens at that line, you need to go down how it is written, what happens, put some print statements like usually the developers do. You will come to know what that line is, what that line is doing. You don't need to go to the teacher for each and every line of code. At the end, it is your skill set, or it is up to your expectations how you see it. The moment you crack that piece, right, what each line is doing, I don't think recession or any other thing will affect in your whole IT world.
And it's not rocket science, right? Like, you know, whatever we are doing here, it's not rocket science. And, you know, I speak for all of us here. You know, I'm not really sure what you guys are actually working on, but 80% of it is getting data from a database, processing it, showing it on the front end somewhere. Right? 80% of it is that. सब वही करते हैं. There is some logic somewhere, सब कुछ है. It's not rocket science. ठीक है? So it's not that difficult. अरे यार ये समझ ही नहीं रहा क्या है, समझ ही नहीं रहा क्या है, right? So I remember we had a classmate. I'll tell you ma'am who is later. अभी नहीं बोलूँगा मैं. ठीक है? तो we C code में we take flag बोल के एक variable लेते हैं, because you know we want. तो अरे फ्लैग काय असतं कळत नाही मला, फ्लॅग काय असतं. वो इतना दिमाग खराब किया उसने खुद का कि फ्लैग क्या होता है, फ्लैग क्या होता है, फ्लैग क्या होता है. एक बार बैठ के उसको बताया मैंने, तो उसने कहा अच्छा ये होता है क्या, कुछ नहीं है, सब आता है मुझे. You can probably guess who it is. Right? So it's not difficult for, you know, the code that you are doing right now. It's not difficult, trust me. But that is what is going to create a foundation for you. Right? And asking for explanation line by line, I don't know what year you guys are in, but if you have, are you guys in third year, final year? So you guys have done some basics of coding. यहाँ तक पहुंचे हो तो basic code क्या होता है पता है, ठीक है? No code नहीं पता था, but code तो पता है, right? So if you know coding, then just read through it, ना? Don't get worried. Run it. Error आएगा, error पढ़ो क्या है, वो error डालो ChatGPT, ठीक है? That will definitely help you learn. ठीक है, तुमने चैट जीपीटी से कोड पूछा, उसने एक कोड दिया, राइट? वो रन करके देखा है क्या? वो रन करना भी एक स्किल है। एग्जैक्टली, वो रन करना भी एक स्किल है।
वो डायरेक्टली प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट
वही, so running that and then debugging that, fixing the issue there, that is the skill. As software developers, all of us, except Chandan and when we write code, we spend 70% of our time debugging code, 30% of our time writing code. And if you guys don't agree, please call it out. Right? We spend a lot of, and that is where, get ChatGPT to generate your code, absolutely fine, but वो run करो, समझो वो कैसा चल रहा है. That is what is more important. And if you have that skill, you can sail through recession. Okay? Someone said, you when you asked your, or probably the person behind you, when he asked this question, the CA wala, right? He said, how can we ensure recession doesn't impact us? Recession सबको impact करेगा. You should know how to sail through it, right? How to minimize the impact, how to survive through it is what matters. Not about, how do we ensure it doesn't impact you. It is going to impact. कुछ भी करो. If not you, तुम्हारे घर में किसी को impact करेगा. Your brother, sister, father might get laid off, and ultimately there will be some pressure, some tension that you will have. ठीक है? That is like होने ही वाला है. ठीक है? Be ready for that. Cool.
Just to answer more on his question, so we had this DBMS subject in our third standard. I work in financial technology, which is data sensitive. So we use Microsoft SQL. We still use all those query, and it has helped me a tremendous way that I attended that particular. I loved logic based subjects, so it still helps me. There are people who are 3-4 years experience and they still don't get as good as in SQL.
Yeah, they don't know how to do an inner join.
Yeah, exactly.
How many of you here know how to do an inner join?
Maybe second year won't do.
नहीं, 4 year students are there.
किसी को नहीं आता?
नहीं, some people raise their hand.
Three, four people raise their hand.
Inner join, left join में फर्क तो बताया.
How many of you are going to go back and read about inner join? क्या फायदा हुआ इस सेशन का?
And also what he said about those practical questions, that is good that you use ChatGPT. It will help you in your job, if not in your interview. But what I did now, when I wanted to appear for a placement, what I did, I started using HackerRank, which was basically the same. I started developing my logic over there. So if I have had done it in the practical itself, I wouldn't have spent my time there later on. So that's how it is.
No, but my question is, why at the time of placement write?
Exactly.
Why not write from the first year or second year?
All of you can learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
And I guess like people often when we see our industry, our department, it is always computer science and engineering. There is a very thin difference between science and engineering. So if we see science as a concept, कुछ भी ऐसे magically नहीं होता है. Everything has its space. Everything has its rules and regulations. So in our academics, that's the main essence. And like यही कह रहे हैं कि अभी नहीं तो कभी करेंगे. आज नहीं तो कल करना ही है. That's the thing. So it just ki right now we have a lot of in academics we don't have any much responsibility. It just whatever you grab 1%, 2%, it gonna. So it just ki I have seen my friends and Kamya ma'am pretty much know. Like I know my friends, like they didn't at all study in academic. But I know at one point of time they studied, they work really hard and they're doing really great in IT. So it just there are some basics are there, and on top of that we do some engineering on that. So frameworks and all are a part of the engineering, but the base will be always the science.
Exactly. So Angular, React, Java, .NET will come and go. For loop will always be there. Right? That's what he's trying to say. Right? If conditions will always be there. That's like that's the thing. You must focus on your subjects.
Only syntax changes.
Yes, syntax will change.
Syntax changes.
Yeah. Yes.
So, how can we prepare to grab a good opportunities in any domain sector? Like, I would like to ask about methodologies.
Uh, Anyone wants to take that?
Sorry, pardon?
Can you repeat your question?
How can we prepare to grab a good opportunities in any domain sector?
Okay.
If you are good in basic concepts, you can grab the opportunity.
So I had the same answer. इसलिए मैंने बोला.
Yeah. So, like as you said, like first you'll have to narrow it down what domain you want to go. Okay, that's the first step because you cannot run it every here and there. So you have to like catch a bus where you want to go. Okay. Then once you board on, then what like every domain has different profiles. Like entry level jobs are there, but from there, where you want to go? Because when I joined as a let's say analyst, I am not analyst forever, right? You have to understand from where. So it's not about just joining. It's you have to prepare a whole track. Okay. Once I joined as an analyst, like I'll in this domain, I'll work on this and that. But at least you should be aware about first three roles you will do after joining, or two roles at least. Like first will be I'll gather the basic details and how I'll excel in that, and next how will I'll utilize that. So first you have to narrow it down. Then once you join, then you like progress forward. And while doing all this, you have to like make sure that you are like upskilling yourself by some other resources, like other domain as well. Just in case, like let's say someone said that they were used to do testing and it started automated. So you have to be ready for that as well. Like if it gets automated, am I ready to automate that? If not, then how can I switch to some other domain? Because I like personally I was in ITSM domain, then I like thought it's a saturation, then I moved to the network domain, infrastructure domain. So you have to that have that adaptability. You cannot just just go with the one. It's not a 100-meter hurdle. It's a marathon. You have to start somewhere, but once you start, then you have to be very dynamic while changing courses.
There's one more thing which has helped me a lot. Like, do we still have that student training program?
Yes.
Soft skills will never leave.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Seriously, ChatGPT can't do that for you.
Yeah, exactly. Seriously. Soft skills will never leave. Two things which you must focus on. The first thing will be a listening. A good listener will help you solve a problem better. You need to listen well, and then you need to communicate what you want to do it, how you are going to do it. So that will also help you a lot, and in any domain, I guess.
Any
Yes,
domain.
soft skills are must because if you can't tell what you're gonna do, like बोलते हैं ना हिंदी में जो नहीं बोलता उसका सोना भी नहीं बेचता और जो बोलता है उसको like he can sell a salt as well, like something like that. So you have to express yourself in a way where you can convey your message and how good or how effective you're gonna be in that particular company. So yeah, soft skill comes first. So yeah, thanks for highlighting that. Soft skills are must.
Yeah, and adding to his point on previous, like how to get grab a job. So it's like for well said that every job has its own way of getting it. Okay, and you need to. So it's just that, and I think like we are in a stage we are very fortunate for each kind of job there is a set of things are there which you need to do, and like it starts with like okay, if you want to get this job you need to do this then this, and it is well available everywhere. It's just that somewhere you have to start, and
Exactly.
somewhere if you see that all jobs comes with some one point only, like there's a basic thing like
All
okay
roads
yeah
lead
ये
to
तो आना
Rome.
है फिर यहाँ से सब चालू होता है. Yep.
Yep. So picking a domain or something is not something you should focus on right now, is what I believe. Okay.
think about, say, okay, you feel like you want to go into, like he said, networking, DevOps, whatever it is. Then think about होता क्या है DevOps, होता क्या है, कैसे कर सकते हैं, क्यों करते हैं लोग ये. Think about that, and क्या मैं ये पूरा lifetime कर पाऊंगा? Right? Think about those things. Then start. Okay. How to start is start. Start is the answer. Okay. There is a lot of material available. You can reach out to any of us. I'm sure you would have a lot of other seniors you can reach out to. Just reach out to them. Everyone will tell you to shuru kar. Like your question is like मुझे Java developer बनना है क्या करूँ? Java सीखना. Simple है. ठीक है. It's as simple as that. You start, the path will create itself. ठीक है, एंड इट विल लीड टू द सेम पॉइंट लाइक ही सेड राइट. अल्टीमेटली वो पाथ हर एक का एक ही रहेगा. ठीक है, वो यू हैव टू गो थ्रू दैट एंड ओनली देन यू विल रीच दैट. Cool. Anything else?
One more thing that helps identifying what domain you want to get into is matching necessity with what you have. Generally gap वहीं पे होता है. So, the industry requires something, your passion is something else. So you a lot of time have to find the common ground, right, where you can provide value. And as these guys are saying, right, the domain doesn't matter. Computer science, UX, like a lot of relation, of course. It's not completely disjoint, but it's just that you figure out where you can add value, what your passion is, and value will be found. If I don't find value in you, he will find it. So he will find it. Somebody else will find it.
Just to add on this, have you ever heard about the Ikakai book, the Japanese way of living?
Yes. Yeah.
That says the same thing. If you don't want to read, then you can just go through the summary of that book.
Or
That will
summarize. That's actually good. I think we should. So we've been discussing a lot about why or how you should not use ChatGPT. Probably let's touch upon a topic
Why
on
we
scenarios.
should.
Scenarios in which it will make sense to. ChatGPT is an example. Any other
Generative AI, right? How it would use. So I'll maybe start with a few examples of what people are doing with ChatGPT, because from what I learned, you guys are just using it to write assignments, right?
Which is a start.
Your question.
As you said that PSA is enough for if you want to get space. So my question is, if I know any one good language and PSA and problem solving, so is that enough for getting placed in any good company?
So, it depends on what you know, how much you know, and the definition of a good company that you have and I have also might be different. Largely, yes, but just that is not enough. Like he said, soft skills is something you must have, problem solving ability is something you must have. Just knowing कि class ये होता है, structure ये होता है, data structure ये होता है is not enough. How to apply that is something you must have. Right, to up, right, and as a fresher maybe yes, it might be good enough to get placed in a good company for sure, but as you progress these core concepts you'll develop more on this, right. I don't want to say yes, right, because I know
Yeah,
that
it's something like that. It's like we all want to say yes, but we don't want to say yes.
Exactly.
Basically, you should not limit.
But because that's the thing, because I have seen it, like even after the 5, 10 years of experience, always the interview start with maybe the OOPS concept or the data structure. Okay, what is array or what is class? We start with that only, even if it is a 1 year experience or 5 year experience or 10 year experience. Okay, tell me in return. So it just it is easy to say I know data structure and algorithm like you said, but data structure and algorithm is like saying how much you know it. It is like you like today as well we keep on revising it. Okay, that's the thing, that's the thing. Yes. But yeah, like because there all starts.
Yeah. So knowing data structures and algorithms really well, along with a lot of other things, is definitely going to get you placed, right? But just data structure, हाँ, बोला इन लोगों ने कि data structure पढ़ो जॉब मिलेगा, पढ़ लिया, अब बताओ, right? कुछ नहीं होगा. ठीक है, how to apply it, how to use it with everything else, that is what matters, and it matters at every level, not just as a fresher. Like he said, I interview people with 10 years of experience, I still ask oops concepts for पूछता ही हूँ, ठीक है. I still ask them to write for loop people, ठीक है. Some people get insulted, I'm like नहीं, अगर तुम्हें वो नहीं आता है तो pointless है, right? I still ask that. Those are the core concepts that matter. Everything else, for everything else you have ChatGPT.
Cool.
बट सच में अगर तुम ये करके आओगे कि हमने डीएसए पढ़ लिया आप जॉब दो, तो या definitely will try for that because that I believe in that thing. If you come up with it and say कि I know DSA, give me job, I am confident that you will get a job.
Yeah, and also adding to what Varun said, when even we are interviewing people as well. So at every level, we kind of set expectations. If he's a fresher or she's a fresher, or if he's an experienced person, we know our limitations. We know how much you might be knowing. So there is always an expectation set from the candidate. The moment you fulfill that expectations, you are in. That's it. We then don't care that you don't know certain areas or you are lacking certain areas. Soft skills, yes, the moment you get into soft skills, you know certain backgrounds of theory concepts, you have some practical experience. That's it. That is what an interviewer is looking out for. The more experience you get is always an add-on for you. So just remember in that perspective.
So let's move a little bit towards what Chandan said about Chat GPT and what people are using it for and what you guys should use for. But before we go there, how many of you here have not used Chat GPT till now?
Excellent, very good.
सच है कि peer pressure की वजह से कर रहे हो? वो सो गया.
It's okay.
वो it's okay बोल रहा है क्योंकि वो वैसे ही कर रहा है. He understands your pain.
आराम बड़ी चीज है.
Cool. Um, the things that people are doing with chat gpt, right, like the amazing things that people are doing, how it is helping people in a lot of areas, and how it is creating problems for society, and how it ultimately impacts the job market that we have, right? So using one very simple use case, all the developers at our company at Podcast, Chandan, like Chandan said, right, we have asked everyone to use chat gpt, राइट सबको बोला है कि चैट जीपीटी यूज करो कोड लिखने के लिए. व्हाई? बिकॉज वी वांट देम टू बी 2x 3x बेटर देन व्हाट दे आर राइट नाउ, राइट? वी डू नॉट वांट देम टू से कि नहीं हम चैट जीपीटी यूज नहीं करेंगे, हमें इतना ही आता है, एक दिन में इतना ही काम होगा, राइट? यूजिंग चैट जीपीटी दे कैन बी 2x 3x faster than what they are doing right now. There is this thing called GitHub Copilot. Has anyone heard about it? Excellent. Has anyone used it? You said you have used GitHub Copilot.
Black box GitHub Copilot also.
Yep. So what GitHub Copilot does is it writes code for you. Literally, you just have to write the function name, like get data from database. Function name लिखा, वो खुद query बनाएगा, data लेके आएगा, पूरा वो function लिख देगा आपके लिए. That's exactly what it does, right? So you should use that for sure. Try it out for sure. If you use that to write your assignments, do it. Definitely do it, because वो कोड रन नहीं कर पाओगे तुम. उसके लिए तुम्हें डिबग करना पड़ेगा. You will have to know कि कहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है. And that's how you learn, right? Amazing things people have done with ChatGPT. Have all of you played Flappy Bird, the game?
Yeah.
Yes. So there's this guy on YouTube who blogs about building games. That guy built a Flappy Bird clone in 4 hours. Right. Now to build Flappy Bird, you need to understand कि graphics चलता कैसे है. You can ask ChatGPT, ChatGPT generate करके दे देगा तुम्हें. Right. वो ये दबाए तो ऊपर गया, ऐसे दबाए तो नीचे गया, बट उल्टा चाहिए तुम्हें, तो वो ठीक करने के लिए तुम्हें आना चाहिए. Right. 90% of the job it will do, but the remaining 10% you have to do, and that is where your basic skills come. Right. ChatGPT can disrupt society. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen, there were images of Donald Trump getting arrested. Has anyone seen that? Yeah. So that seems so realistic, right? So that can cause so much havoc. So what I'm trying to say is the power that something like this has, like ब्रह्मास्त्र मिला है हम सबको, ठीक है? यूज करते आना चाहिए. Now let's hear about what everyone here has to say about this, and we'll also more than happily take questions. Chat GPT and generative AI in general is a topic that is very close to my heart. I have been fully immersed in it. I have been doing this since the last 3 months. बहुत कुछ किया है खुद से, वो पूरा llama model run किया है, सब कुछ किया हुआ है लोगों. I've done so many things, right? And I feel this is going to take over the world. Some of you here disagree, I know. So let's hear about that.
I think it will create a new world. Yeah, it will take over the current world, but it will create
It
a
will
lot of
create a new
opportunities.
one.
Definitely,
Exactly.
yes.
Even I guess Elon Musk tweeted, ChatGPT will not replace a developer. It will replace a developer who used ChatGPT. So
Interesting. Anything you have to say? No?
No, I think in general, from a use case discovery perspective, I would probably be very interested to know what all use cases that you guys have tried. What all have you done with ChatGPT? Apart from, of course, writing love letters to your, girlfriends and boyfriends, but any interesting use cases that anybody here has tried that they would want to talk about? सबने बोला था यूज किया है. I will start.
मैंने तो
I will
बोला सब यूज
start.
करते
I will
हैं.
start pointing fingers and asking. I have a 3 second rule. अगर मेरे को कोई response नहीं मिलता है, I'll pick one random person. If you don't want to be that random person, if you have used it, go ahead. Writing
craziest thing
articles.
you did with ChatGPT, right?
Yeah, any use cases
Anything.
that you must have, you know.
GPT-4 is included in command line. We can take command line for administrative
Such as?
basic commands of that or something.
So you put GPT on your command line and then.
And also Git CLI is there. With GPT-4 included.
Excellent. Yes.
I'll tell you one of my craziest things first. What I did is I asked ChatGPT to create a podcast script. I ran that podcast script on the another AI tool which spoke it, and I just published it on Spotify.
So one of our colleagues did something similar. He went to ChatGPT. He said, write me a 10 children's stories. Okay, it wrote 10 children's stories, bedtime stories for children, kids, whatever, right? 2 to 5 years of age, whatever. Then he took the topics of those 5 stories, went to Mid Journey. You guys know Mid Journey, stable diffusion, Mid Journey, image generate, ChatGPT for creating images basically. He created images for those stories. He created a PDF out of it. He put that book online on Kindle, Amazon Kindle पे अभी 99 रुपीस में आज की डेट पे भी वो है. ठीक है, ऑथर में उसने अमन एंड चैट जीपीटी लिखा है. Right, so that is, and that has become a source of income for him. He has put it for 99 rupees. Last week I spoke to him. He said 8 सेल हुए. ठीक है, but it will go up. होंगे और भी धीरे धीरे. But he did not do it for making money. He did it for an experimentation. But that is the level of things people are doing. Right? Anyone else? I think he had some.
Yeah, actually I use AI RTM extension.
Mhm.
You must be familiar. I'm generally into SEO and marketing, so like I use for writing blogs.
Right.
To humanize blogs. So and after that I put it into one tune, another for humanizing things. Put out got a plagiarism free blog.
Nice.
And
Excellent.
next thing for my company I did a desktop. One basic desktop development work, but did a job.
How much time did it take for you to create the blog that you're talking about?
Actually, it takes 2 minutes.
Interesting.
How many of you here can write a blog article in 2 minutes?
And then I have a additional question. Were you able to collect feedback from readers?
Yeah, actually, I showed my friends. They were like, I don't really think you wrote it.
नहीं फ्रेंड्स को तो कभी नहीं पूछने का.
Actually, he manages my
I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. So the reason I asked is I had somebody in my team. We have a team of content writers. I had somebody create an article as an experiment, and the quality of article that came out when I read it from a consumer standpoint, somebody was not a friend. I realized that the quality was still shallow, and that is when I understood that it's not the problem of ChatGPT. It is how you command it. Kind of context that you give the tool. Yeah, correct. Definitely. So it's the quality of prompt. I think we were discussing when we were coming here.
because I want to add more about AIRPM because it is a community extension. So
Yeah.
people are putting out their prompts and like we can use that for free.
Nice.
So we can write all.
Yeah, definitely. The other day I saw a YouTube video, proper course on how to write prompts.
Yeah, Revoxicity is doing that.
Oh, really? Oh, nice.
People are selling it for $600.
Yes,
$500.
yes,
Nice, very good. Wonderful, wonderful,
So,
wonderful.
writing prompts is a skill.
Yeah.
Okay, so the meme world calls people who write good prompts as prompters.
PROOMPTERS, right? Become a master prompter. अगर चैट जीपीटी यूज करना है ना, अगर मैम को नहीं समझना चाहिए कि तुमने चैट जीपीटी से असाइनमेंट किया है, right? You have to become a master prompter. ठीक है? What he said was also an excellent use case, by the way, wherein he used the Git CL.
But I am more intelligent than ChatGPT. That's why.
That was really good. So the use case that he also mentioned, right, about using the Git CLI. So ChatGPT can read your code and tell you to commit your code, what your commit message should be. That is what the Git CLI you mentioned does. There is this thing called AutoGPT. Has anyone heard about AutoGPT? Anyone wants to say what it does? You guys have heard about AutoGPT?
It automates a lot of your whatever you want to do. You can figure out what you want to automate. It could be responding to somebody's message or even performing a complex task. You have a to-do list for which you required 1500 Google searches or ChatGPT or whatnot. You can automate everything. All of it. I mean, essentially, what is happening? You're saving time. The most valuable resource that you have as a developer, as a human being, is your time. Right. So all of this is just helping you with that.
So, few technical details on AutoGPT. What it does is it creates GPT agents to prompt itself. Right. So the output of the first prompt that goes in is the input for the next prompt. The output of that is the input for the next prompt, and that's how it keeps prompting itself till it achieves a goal that you have set for it. Right. For example, you can ask AutoGPT to build a website for the computer department of SITS. Right. So it will first say, okay, as an autonomous agent, I need to understand what does the computer department of SITS do. It will do a Google search. It will get those Google search results. It will summarize it. Then it will say, I need to create website content for a college that does this or a department that does this. It creates some content. Then it takes that content and says, I have to write HTML and CSS for this content. So continuously it does that and it ultimately builds a site. Sometimes it does good, sometimes it does bad, right? Which is why people say it is truly intelligent, right? But that's debatable, right? Maybe if no one has anything else to add about ChatGPT in general or anything else, we can probably conclude. I think we are almost at time, right? Coming back to our original topic of the impact of IT recession on career opportunities, there is going to be an impact, but that is not something we should be worried about. As a IT professional, it will come, it will go. It's always going to be there. Hone wala hai, it's a necessary evil. It is there for because something else somewhere happened and yahan pe wo recession hone wala hai. Wapas things will go up. Like principal sir said, it's also an opportunity, right? Anything else anyone wants to add as concluding thoughts?
Yeah, I'll add my concluding thoughts to that. So, for such things, there are, of course, there are certain things are there like building a connection, having a network in the industry, then doing some certification, going for the higher educations. Then there is keep improving yourself, be flexible, be open to all the opportunities. So those are the ways I feel if you just be open for all the opportunities and we are good to go.
Yep, that's a good point. Like be open to opportunities, right? I have seen people who are like, "नहीं मैं Java developer हूँ, मैं .NET नहीं करूँगा," right? Again, that's a very simple and silly example, but that happens, right? मुझे Java में ही job चाहिए. Say okay, मैं .NET भी करूँगा, job है, it's programming, you're solving a problem. Do it. So be open to opportunities and networking. Definitely, that helps like crazy. Yeah.
I'll conclude with one small story. So it's in a Gita where someone asks someone, I don't remember exactly, that give me a one line which will make a happier person sad and sadder person happy. So it was He Divas Date, which means these days will also go off. That always helps me a lot. Whenever I think that it's the end of the world, I come up with some solution that will work for the entire world right ahead of me.
This too shall pass. That's the English translation of, I think Shakespeare or someone had said that. This too shall pass. Or Winston Churchill. Whoever.
Whoever.
Yeah. you can quote me on that.
No, I think I would like to conclude with thanking all of you. It is I understand, truly understand how much patience it is required. I see a lot of people yawning already. How much patience it is required to sit there and listen to random strangers. But yeah, I really appreciate. Best of luck to all of you.
Especially when they all have smartphones. We didn't.
We did it. You know, when I got my first smartphone, it was 2015. It was gifted by a client because he was annoyed how I was designing mobile applications without having access to a smartphone. Right? So yeah, there's a good point. But yeah, then thank you. It was wonderful and you know. नहीं रुक जाओ बाकी है रुक जाओ अंदर है save your energy I know you guys are tired.
Yeah, so I'll also be on the same lines. Since you are yet to come out of this area, start with your IT career or whatever the areas you're gonna be. What I'll add up with Abhishek said is that you focus on the areas that you are interested in and you want to work in. It's not like everyone is 100% coder, everyone knows programming. So keep that in mind. No one is like going to be a best coder. Know your areas. If you are good at it, proceed with it. If you are not, you have other career options open as well. Try to get into those areas and focus like that. Abhishek is he is my colleague who we all passed out from the same batch. There were other colleagues as well who were not good at programming, so they explored other areas as well. It's not like everyone should go in the same boat. You try to find out the other boat where it will lead to success for yourself, and you will be happy. It's not like only programmers will be happy or only developers will be happy. The other stream people are also happy. At the end, it is what makes you happy. You do that. That is what I want to say.
Excellent.
So I'll like to conclude saying, like, as we didn't touch upon that part where principal sir said like why we are service-based nation, basically all company of nation. So that's a blessing in disguise for us because we being a service-based nation or like we are servicing other product-based companies or their services, the impact won't be on us immediately again because service based like we are working on like 1 lakh per month or something like that. At the same time our counterpart or our colleagues are working at 3 lakh or 4 lakh. So in the cost cutting they will get slashed first, and we being in the India working in the lower salary structure, we won't be impacted. So that's a blessing in disguise for us, so we can count on that. But we should not be eased with that fact. We should like be more prone to Varun emphasize on starting like your own startups maybe, because all of you won't be running after jobs as well, so you can think of startups as well. And like once you decide that, just follow that rigorously, and then you can like conclude on, okay, this was my journey. And always look back, because some people say like don't look back what we have done, but you should always look back and learn from that and then proceed further. So yeah, on that note I would like to say thank you for having me.
One extension to what Abhijit just said is something that Varun and I both agree. When we interview people, all of them get graduated from whatever college, have whatever degrees. Very few of them have experience of building and running something of their own. Right? So do not be afraid to get into the world of startup. Don't get into it with the mindset of making money. I hope you do. But whatever the smallest of the thing that you build, no, it will teach you marketing, it will teach you coding, it will teach you design, skills that are going to be invaluable. So if you're going to an interview where 50 other people are coming and you talk about that, then your 50% problem is solved. You will always be remembered. That guy who came, built something is not like every for 49 other people. Abhijit made an excellent point there.
Yes.
I took the.
Yeah. So I guess with that, we can conclude. I think you all are now ready to face the recession and sail through it really well. Don't worry. Bottom line, don't worry. Focus on yourself. You'll sail through. Right? That's the bottom line. Yeah. And thank you for the patience. Thanks from all of us. Right? We all understand.
Thank you so much. To conclude, I'll that it was our honor to have our seniors here as our guests, and they've been motivating our students a lot. They've been teaching us some facts that we might have not come across, and some facts that we do know that we have come across, but maybe we believe that it was something else, which you guys have opened up for us. So thank you for that. To conclude, we thank our Honorable Founder President, Professor M.N. Navle Sir, and Founder Secretary, Dr. Mrs. Sunanda Navle Ma'am, Vice President HR, Dr. Rohit Navle Sir, Vice President Admin, Mrs. Rachna Ashtekar Ma'am, for the opportunities they have provided us with. A special mention to our respected principal, Dr. S.D. Markande Sir, for being the catalyst that stimulated us to do our best and stand in pillars of strength. With a deep sense of appreciation, we would like to thank our campus director, Markani sir, along with Vice Principal S.A. Kulkarni sir, Dr. Geeta Navle ma'am, HOD of Computer Department, all teaching and non-teaching staff, and student volunteers for their untiring efforts. Our sincere gratitude goes to our well-wishers for your rock-solid support system and encouragement. Without your support, the civil would not have been this excellent. So thank you, and thank you a lot. Wish you have a very good day.
Just announce it. We can leave.
All the second year and third year students, you can leave. Please use the backstage door.
This is the most awaited sentence.
ऑफिस में बोला नहीं था, नहीं तो पता चल जाता